How do you start a painting company? Hi, my name is Nate Jones. I run this channel. I make videos on entrepreneurship, how to start businesses, which businesses you should start and which ones you shouldn't. And today I'm reviewing a painting company. And if you get value out of this video, I would ask that you like and subscribe. Okay, let's hop in this. I'm focusing on a house painting company, an interior house painting company. The reason I am is because I believe that there's a decent amount of money in this business. I'll tell you towards the end if it's worth pursuing or not. But in America, there's so many houses that are getting built right now. There's a house shortage. People cannot move because interest rates have gone through the roof. So what are they doing with all their money? Well, they can't upgrade their house. So what they're doing is they're upgrading their current house. They can't upgrade into a new house. They're upgrading their current house. So they have money to spend, and everybody wants to repaint the walls at some point. And I believe if you hustle in this business, and I'll tell you how you can, and you can make decent money. So the first thing you need to do if you're considering starting this business is you need to know the costs associated with starting it. Just like any business, you need to know what you're going to be paying out before this business even starts. And this business is awesome because it's a very low startup cost. And this is why I think anybody who can learn how to paint can start this business. You got about $500 in materials that will probably just get you going for that first couple jobs. $200 just for a website, because everybody should have a website and everybody should learn how to put their website on Google where it indexes and it uses search engine optimization. If you don't know what that is, you can search it and you can learn how to do it yourself. I learned it myself. You can learn it yourself too. Basically, when somebody searches a painting contractor in blah, blah, Boise, Idaho, your website shows up. Another $500 for local marketing. I would say you want to buy some signs, put your name out there locally in the community so people know that, hey, you're an alive company that's ready to work. So that's about $1,200 in startup costs. That is very low. That is very low, and I think if you save up a little bit of money, you can confidently start this business with very low startup costs and turn a profit on your first job. Speaking of profits, let's go into how much can you make in this business. So I was looking it up, and I was doing a lot of research on this, and I came down to a conclusion. It was about $1.50 to $3 per square feet. Now, depending on your location, that could be high, that could be low. I would say it shouldn't be low. It shouldn't be high. I would say you would want to put it at a certain position where it's worth your time doing. In construction and contracting positions, you got to make sure that it's worth your time going out there and doing the job. Whatever hours you're going to spend, you need to know, hey, how much am I making per hour? Is it worth it? Is it worth for me to do it? So an average house size in America is 2,200 square feet. You know, most people don't have a 2,200 square feet, but there's people with 10,000 square foot houses and there's people with 1,000 square feet. So the average is around 2,200. So I said, what if we just painted, because most people don't want their whole house painted, they want a couple rooms, right? So I said, let's cut that in half, 1,100. That's going to be our average job, okay? 1,100 times, again, we can charge anywhere from $1.50 to $3 a square foot. So I landed at $2 a square foot. It's not exactly in the middle, but I said, let's be conservative. Let's conservatively see how much we can make in this business. 1,100 square foot times $2 a square foot puts us at $2,200 for a painting job. Okay, sounds good. That's good money. But how long does that painting job take us? I looked it up. To paint a whole house, it takes 3 to 5 days. Okay, so to paint half a house or a couple rooms in a house should probably take you 2 to 3 days. I put 3 days conservatively because as you're learning how to paint, obviously you don't want to try to speed through the whole thing in one day. So it's going to take you 3 days. And I said every 10 days, if you're really thinking of a buffer and a couple extra days, you should do 2 jobs. So that means every 10 days, you're making 2,200 twice, which is 4,400. So in a 30-day period, we times 4,000, or we times 4,400 times 3, because we have 10 days to 30 days, that puts us at 13,200 a month, okay? That's 158,400 a year. That's pretty good. I would say your profitability for painting is pretty high, because if you're a contractor, you can get contractor pricing on painting. I would say your profitability would probably be in the 110s to 120, so you're going to be making $120,000 a year. So I think the biggest thing, I've reviewed a lot of businesses on my page, and I believe this business is very easy to do, but I don't know if the revenue is there. And I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, I would love to make $120,000 net income. I believe it. But I believe there are some other businesses in which a little bit more specialized trades in which you can make a lot more money. That being said, if you're like, hey, I understand painting, I know I can do it, I believe this might be a good business for you. But make sure that your time is worth it. Make sure that what you're charging per hour and you find that time, and maybe this is something you can do on the side, but really there's a lot of general contractors and companies out there that are doing home remodeling that don't want to mess with the painting that can sub that out to you. So I think if you're a painter, you're always going to be having work because they always need somebody to paint something. I needed the outside of my house painted before I sold it and got into this house, and I paid somebody to do it because I didn't want to do it. Okay, painting is one of those things. It's very tedious. You got to have time. You got to know what you're doing. So I think the best thing if you're going to pursue this business, my advice for you is figure out a way to scale it. You need to find a way in which you can have multiple jobs going at one time. That means you have to duplicate yourself. That means you have to find employees or contractor, 1099s, whatever you want to call them, to help you out for your jobs. Because if it's just you're relying on what you can accomplish in 3 to 4 days, which is around 2,200. But if you can get somebody else out there and you can maybe pay them $1,000 a job, you're still making $1,000. You got to scale your business so you can earn more. Because if not, you're not really a business owner, you're a business employee. And business employees only make what they do. At some point, you got to scale your business so you have a business and you can walk away from it for a week and you still made money. A business should be its own entity. And speaking of entities, you need to legal up. If you're going to start this business, get an LLC to protect your personal assets, and it makes this business its own being, its own entity. Get insurance because you never know what happens. I know painting is a pretty safe occupation. You're not going to cause that much property damage. You may not, but there's always something that can happen. You could leave a ladder out, somebody could trip on it, hurt themselves. Liability insurance is what you need to start a painting company. I own an insurance agency. If you need help, reach out. Be happy to help review your policy and make sure you're getting taken care of. Client contract. I always say this for every single construction company type company that I review, or contractor. You need to have a client contract because you need to hold yourself accountable and hold the person that you're doing the work for accountable. It outlines what you're going to do and how much the cost is going to be, and you each sign it. Because a lot of people, it's standard that people don't pay you until after the job. And if a contractor takes money up front, some people get a little weary about that because they haven't done anything yet. So if you have a contract that can actually be potentially, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but that could potentially be held up if somebody doesn't pay you. We all have heard those stories from the contractors who don't get paid and they can't do anything about it. So you need to find a way to scale this business. You need to legal it up, understand how much you can make, and understand your costs. And this business, you can be successful. With that being said, don't be complacent. Figure out a way to scale this business. Find a niche, maybe commercial painting, maybe something else. There's a lot of money in painting. You just got to find out, do you want to do it? So if you got value out of this business, hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much.